Good afternoon. This is Brother T from the Led by the Lord channel coming to you this afternoon. And this afternoon, I want to talk about being led by the Lord, letting the Lord lead us, being used and being used by the Lord, being used by the Lord and inspired by the Lord, and letting the Lord control our lives, letting the Lord control our lives, letting Him mold us and make us into what is His will for our lives. We must be careful because sometimes we can be used by man, and man is not the Lord. You see, we are, as men and women, we are not perfect people. As men and women, we are not perfect people. Only Jesus was perfect. Sometimes our personal motives, our personal desires, our personal needs, our personal prejudices get mixed up in the bringing of the Lord's word. Sometimes our personal feelings get mixed up in the bringing of the Lord's word. So we must sometimes listen for what is the Lord and what is man. So we must listen to hear what saith the Lord and what saith the man or the woman. Now we know that man has been given a charge. We have been given a charge to teach the word. But we also have a human side. We have a human side. We all have that. You know, it's hard to escape that what is deep down within us will come out. And we see that happening today, in the world today. Some of those deep issues and deep prejudices and deep personal feelings about others and things that were deep down are coming out. So what is deep inside of us will come out eventually. Now we know that sometimes what is taught convicts us because we are guilty of what is being preached. So we know that when someone is preaching the word of the Lord and it convicts us, it's convicting us because we are guilty of what is being preached. So sometimes what is being preached is targeting certain people and certain issues that may be going on in the church or whatever that don't have anything to do with the Lord. So sometimes from the pulpit, a message could contain targeting things towards members of the church, and it has nothing to do with the Lord's word. Now, this is when man and not the Lord is coming out. This is man coming out. This is not the Lord coming out. This is man. And again, I say, we are not perfect. Only Jesus was perfect. So I believe this should tell us that we should never place any man or woman as a perfect person. We all have our biases and our inner beliefs. We all have our personal biases. And this is just our makeup. It's the way we are made, that we all have those biases, those things that we like and we dislike. Some like vanilla ice cream, some like chocolate ice cream. Some like donuts and some like bagels. So it's what our personal desires and what we like, and we can't force what we like on someone else. So we must try to suppress these personal biases when teaching or instructing others. So we have to suppress those personal desires and those personal dislikes when we're teaching someone else. because that's not what we all have our own personal makeup. We shouldn't try to force our makeup onto someone else. And it's not about, and so we must suppress it, instructing others, and it's not about what saith the man or the woman. It's about what saith the Lord. So it's not about what saith the man or the woman unless they're preaching the Lord's word. But if they're just preaching their word, it's not about what saith the man or the woman. It's about what saith the Lord. Let us thank the Lord that we don't have to be perfect in order for him to use us. It's a good thing we don't have to be perfect in order for the Lord to use us, because he wouldn't be able to use any of us and be used for his purpose. So, he can use us for his purpose, his will, and his way, knowing that we are not perfect, but he can still use us. He does, and we should want our lives to count for something. The Lord wants our lives to count for something, and we should want our lives to count for something. So again, I say, use me, Lord, for your will and your way. Use me, Lord, for your will and your way. No man can mold me to your will. Only you, Lord, and the relationship that we have established with you can mold us to your will. So only the relationship that we have established with the Lord can be used for him, the Lord, to mold us into his will. Man can only lead us to the Lord to be molded. And only the Lord can mold us. So man has been given the authority to teach and preach and lead us to the Lord, for the Lord to mold us. If we hear a word that doesn't set right with us, we should always go to the word of God and research what has been spoken. So whenever you hear a sermon or whatever, and there's something in there you don't understand, go to the Bible and look it up, research it to see what saith the Lord. And sometimes it's not intentional, an intentionally misstated fact by the person preaching. It could just be a mistake. It's not that they're intentionally trying to confuse us. It's that we need to go and research it, because he's man, he's woman, he's not perfect, so he can make mistakes. So let us get our divine inspiration from the Lord. Let us get our divine inspiration from the Lord. The Lord has no biases or prejudice or financial needs or reasons to single us out other than to direct us and direct our path. And this is Brother T from the Led by the Lord channel, asking you again to pray for me, and let us be led by the Lord, and let us want to know what saith the Lord. We know that man has been given a charge to teach us, but we still know that man is not perfect. Man has inner biases, issues, prejudices, and sometimes they get mixed up in the word that is being brought to us. So we must be vigilant. We must be able to go and research. If it's something that doesn't set right with us, look it up. See what saith the Lord, so we know what is the true word. And this is Brother T again from the Led by the Lord channel, asking you to pray for me, and I surely will pray for you, and you have a blessed and safe day.